Good evening. It is Thursday, so it's time for Black Mental Health is Black Health with Bronwyn. I'm your host, Bronwyn Lucas, the Black Couch Therapist. You'll find out more about that name in the future. If it's your first time here, let me tell you, we always start off with a little deep breathing. Why? Something we all need to practice. Deep breathing allows you to calm down, get rid of some of the cares of the day. It's something you can use any time of day or night to help you just find that moment of peace. So here's how we do it. I will count to 4 very slowly. You breathe in as I count to 4, and then you breathe out as I count to 4. Let's get started. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4. In, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4. One more. In, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4. I always have to get at least one in. Well, tonight, it's just me. I get to talk to you about love. What in the world is this silly thing called love? You know, yesterday was Valentine's Day. And for some people, it's great. Oh, they get all these wonderful gifts from their loved ones, their significant other. For others, it's a reminder they don't have a significant other, and so it's not a good day. Either way, it is a day that's dedicated all about love and that special someone. However, everybody does not have that special someone. So I want to talk about the one person that you really should focus on, and that is yourself. So we are going to look tonight at loving yourself. Is that really important? Is it really necessary? I will tell you at the beginning, it is. Loving yourself, so important. So we're going to look at the who, what, where, when, why, and how of self-love. I can talk about it, but I want to focus on the how. So just what is self-love? You know, I'm big on definitions. It's not just me. What do other people say? What are some more even official definitions? You know, so one is says self-love. This is a dictionary definition. Regards for one's own well-being and happiness. So when you love yourself, you're going to regard your own well-being, mental health, and physical. Self-love is when you appreciate and value yourself. That's another one. Another one says you have an appreciation, affinity, and positive regard for yourself. It's closely related to self-esteem and self-compassion. When you have a strong sense of self-love, you understand your own value and treat yourself in a loving way. Now, one thing I do want to point out, because some people think, oh, that's just being narcissistic. No, unlike narcissism, which is excessive absorption in self-interest, self-love is a positive trait. So it's not, you're just, there, and it's all me, me, me. No, when you truly love yourself, as we'll talk about, you've got room for other people. So self-love means I love me. I've got room for me in my heart, but I definitely have room for you as well. So we're going to look at just this thing called self-love. So that's who? You. And it's anybody, not just women. You know, we think of, females and learning self-love, but everybody. Trust me, as a therapist, I see males and females who have issues with just loving themselves. And God gave you, so you might as well love you. So the when and the where. When should you take care and love yourself? Where should you take care and love yourself? Everywhere, at any time. It's always going to be appropriate to say, I love me. I'm good being me. You know, you can, anytime you go somewhere, you should be able to wake up in the morning, no matter how crazy you feel like you look or any of that, and say, but I love me. If you have a child in school, You want them to have good self-esteem. Part of that is learning to love themselves. If you're 4, you're 40, you're 80, you need to love yourself. When? Every day. Now, here's the thing. Loving yourself doesn't mean that every day you're going to feel good about you. We will all have good and bad days. And on some bad days, we don't feel good about ourselves. It's just a bad day. And when you're having that bad day, you still can love yourself. Loving yourself doesn't mean that I just have to feel good and up about me every day. There will be days you look in the mirror and go, really? Oh my gosh. But then you remind yourself of how awesome you are and that you are God's wonderful creation. And when that happens, you're like, okay, you know what? I'm good. And you can love yourself even in those times where you're feeling like, oh, I just can't do it. That's what that self-love is. So that's the when and the where. Wherever you go, whenever you exist, you should love yourself. So the where and the when is easy. The who is easy. But let's look, because I want to spend most of the time on the why. So let's, on the how. So why do I think it's important you love yourself? Well, you know what? You are the only person you're with 24/7, 365 days a year. No one else is with you every moment of your life but you. So since you are stuck with you, you might as well love you because you're not going anywhere. God only made one of you. And when he did, he knew what he was doing. Now, there are some people out there who say, well, then if God is responsible for this, I'm upset. I don't like being the me he made me. Well, maybe that's a time for therapy for you to get to understand who you are and whose you are and how great you are. But you're not going anywhere. You are you. Now, does that mean you can't improve and change who you are? Yes, you can. But because you are you and you want to you can improve yourself, but that's why you do it. Now, there are some studies that even say loving yourself and practicing self-love, self-appreciation can even reduce stress. One of the things, because it allows you to do things for yourself. When you love yourself, you're going to want to take time for you. You're going to want, you realize, you know what, world, you got to give back. And you can do it without feeling guilty. So when you can do that, yes, that can improve your stress, because we have a lot of stress in our lives because we're doing everything. You know, work can provide an enormous amount of stress. Family can provide an enormous amount of stress. And it's like, I don't know what to do with all this stress. So in that same vein, it can improve your physical and mental well-being because you take care of you. You love yourself to know, as the Bible says, I am fearfully and wonderfully made. And that word fearfully in that context is really translated to awesomely made, in awe of God. God, you made me? You real good. I am fearfully, I am awesomely and wonderfully made. God, you good. You made me, so you good. And when you realize that, that's when you can, you know what you're doing, because, oh, I'm good. So that's why we love ourselves, because God made us. He knew what he was doing. God got it right. Even on those days when you're like, no, not with me. God did not make a mistake. So loving yourself is because you can't escape yourself. When you don't love yourself or feel like you can't, that's when it's time to get some help. And there are mental health professionals such as myself that are here to say, oh, we can help you find that. So the who loves themselves, a recap, everybody. Who is this for? Everybody, not just women, not just children. Men need to learn self-love too. Where and when? Anytime, anywhere. Love yourself. Self-love is not narcissism. It's about a positive view of yourself. Why? Because you're the only person you're with 24/7. So you might as well love you. So I've told you who, what, where, when, and I said I want to focus on the how. So I've come up with 10 reasons to love yourself. 10 reasons or 10 ways you can love yourself. And the first one, practice grace. What do I mean by that? We give grace to others. So often we can treat others better than we treat ourselves. So accept your your flaws and all your negative parts, accept them as well as your strengths. So we all have things we want to change about ourselves. If you don't, you might need to go to therapy too. Maybe then you're in the narcissistic category. But we all know that there are things that I need to do better. But is that what you're going to focus on? Oh my gosh, I'm just so, no, no, no. Give yourself grace. Treat yourself with the same kindness and empathy that you would offer to a friend who's facing a challenge when you face a challenge. Often I see people who want to treat others better than they treat themselves. You got to treat you good too. You give others grace, give yourself that same grace and say, you know what? I can take care of me. I'm okay. I'm good. So that's number one. Oh, I meant to do this. Move over. So number one is practice grace. Yeah. Give that to yourself. Number two, practice self-care. Now, self-care does not have to be anything that costs you money. So often we think of maybe self-care is getting your hair done, getting your nails done, getting a massage. Those are all good things. And that is self-care. But self-care is more than that. Self-care is really a mindset too, that I'm going to take care of me right here in this world where I am. I am taking care of me. I'm going to take care of my physical well-being. I'm going to take care of my mental well-being. I'm going to take care of the world around me. I'm just going to take care of me. That's what that self-care is. Those things I mentioned, they're real. So I keep a calendar. I'll tell you how my self-care at one point was so out of whack. And then I'm visual. So I keep a calendar and I keep a color-coded calendar. And so I have a separate color for every category of, I'm working with. And so at this one point, I was looking at my calendar and realized, wow, the color that referred to my personal stuff was almost non-existent. And I'm like, I would even put in there going out with friends, oh yeah, don't book anything with this time. Well, none of that was existing in my calendar. That is not good self-care. Now, I have changed. That was years ago. I'm not that way now. I'm getting better. But self-care is I'm going to include me in my life. I'm not going to dedicate all of my life to everyone and everything else and not me. So part of self-care, I say at least twice a month, do something for yourself just for personal enjoyment, personal fulfillment. It could be going on a walk. It could be those getting your hair done, nails done, manicure. Maybe it's developing a hobby and allowing that side of your brain to work, doing something different, or just hang out with friends. You purpose to hang out with friends. Self-care does include also things like taking care of your body, exercising. We've talked before in here that sitting is the new smoking, and I sit all day. On days if I have 6 clients, that's 6 hours without stand-up movement. So I've got to do something to augment that in between or just remember how to do it. But self-care is those little things you do to take care of yourself. It's a peace of mind. Maybe your self-care is I'm going to sit still for 10 minutes. Just 10 minutes. I'm going to breathe. I'm just going to sit here and be quiet. And you do that. Allow yourself. That is practicing self-care, because when you do that, I'm going to turn off the world because it's too much. I'm just going to turn off the world. I'm not going to do it. And you turn off the world for a few minutes so you can take care of yourself. That is the self-care you need. Just turn off the world. It's too much sometimes. The next one I want to talk about, number 3, practice affirming yourself. Yeah. So how are you going to do that? Tell yourself something good, simply. We often give ourselves negative messages. If I just would have, whatever. If I could do whatever. But whatever you're going through, stop. Give yourself a positive message. Sometimes I would do that, but And it might be something good you really want and you have that but. I'm not sure if I can do that. Or I straight up, I can't do that. No, I'm not good at it. And we can talk ourselves out of doing something, even if it's right for us to do. So instead of those messages, can you tell yourself, oh, I got this? Even though I don't know at the time how I'm going to do it, I know I'm smart enough to figure it out. So I got this. I got this. Or you can tell yourself, you know what? This is difficult, but I see it as an opportunity to learn something new. I look forward to the challenge. So that's part of those negative messages when you are feeling that something is overwhelming, and you can also get help because you don't have to do life by yourself. So as you affirm yourself, I say every day you tell yourself something good. Look in the mirror, and this is a hard one for some people. When you wake up and go brush your teeth, and I hope you brush your teeth every morning. That's why I choose this as the activity, because generally we are brushing our teeth in the bathroom with a mirror. So I say to you, when you get up in the morning and brush your teeth, tell yourself something good. Hello, beautiful. We're going to have a good day. I got this. There's nothing that God and I can't handle today. I'm good. I'm really good. Tell yourself something good every day. And guess what? As you're learning to affirm yourself, learn to affirm others. Whatever your way to tell somebody else something nice. Maybe it's a stranger and you just say, really look good. I like that red you have on today. Or, wow, great shoes, and keep going. But affirm yourself and tell others. To help some people practice, I will throw in a little shameless plug here. I have it's sort of like an ebook out that says I am enough. And what it is an affirmation journal. It has an affirmation and a quote, and then it has room in there for you to write about it. What does that quote say to you? What does that affirmation say to you? There are 30 of them, so you can take a month to help you practice. And at the end of this, I'll drop it in the link. I'll drop it on the Facebook page. But it's something you can download, you can purchase and download, and allow yourself to practice saying something good to you. Because if you don't tell yourself anything good, why should you expect someone else to tell you something good? So practice affirming yourself. Number 4, practice loving your body. There are a lot of people, you look at your body, it's too big, it's too little, you want a six-pack, you want longer hair, you wish your arms were smaller, you wish your arms were bigger, on and on and on. All the things you want to change in your body, you know what? You can do that. You can work to make it happen. And sometimes we need to work to make it happen. Maybe we need to lose weight to be healthier. But wherever you are right now, this minute, love you for who you are. Because guess what? If you don't love yourself now, even when you get to the place where you want to be, where you're at the size you want to be, that may not make you love yourself. Because loving yourself goes much deeper than the exterior. So when you're affirming yourself, look at yourself in the mirror and go, yeah, I'm good. Do you want to be, or maybe even need to be 100 pounds lighter? That's fine. But love yourself as you are. Love all of that weight or lack of. Some people are, I'm just too skinny. Not my issue. I might like to try that one out. But whatever the issue that makes you look at yourself and say, you don't love yourself, love yourself just the way you are. You want to be love yourself this moment right now. So part of that affirmation is looking in the mirror and saying, I love myself. I love all of me. Yeah, every bit. So yeah, just stop. Love yourself. Someone asked, is there a biblical reference for self-care? If the Bible says we're fearfully and wonderfully made, and if we are made by God, and the Bible also says we are his temple, shouldn't we take care of his temple? Our body is the temple of God. So when you're walking around not loving yourself, you also not loving the temple that God gave you. You know, we are the church in that sense. And so I need to love what he gave me because I'm just so good. The next one is practice self-celebration. You know, I see people who don't want to celebrate their own accomplishments. large or small. We can do something great, and it may be a big great, it might be a little great. Maybe I lost 3 pounds last week. And you can go, yeah, I only lost 3 pounds. You can look at it that way. It's like, I lost 3 pounds. Celebrate it. Because if your goal was to lose weight and you did it, you are reaching your goal. If your goal is 100 pounds to lose and you lost that first 3, guess what? You only have 97 to go. You don't have 100 to go anymore. So stop. Celebrate where you are, the big and the little. Stop focusing on what you did not do and focus on what you have done. Those little things. Yeah, work has been so hard and I have all these reports to do. I finally got them done. Okay. Rather than, I finally got them done. Oh, I got all that stuff done. My desk is clear. Hallelujah. So it's about how you look at it. So when you celebrate your victories, you can feel better about yourself. You love yourself enough to say, this is a victory I made. I'm good at it. I am so happy. That's one more thing I've overcome. So celebrate yourself. None of this means you are narcissistic, you are big-headed. No, you are loving the creation God made. He made you. Number 6, practice. Ooh, this one's a hard one. Acknowledging and accepting compliments. Now, why do I say, ooh, that's a hard one? Have you ever, maybe it's you or someone when you say, oh, wow, you really look great today. Oh, well, and they kind of look around like, yeah, okay. Not even saying thank you because they can't. Or if they say thank you. It's not, they can't accept that compliment. Learn to give and receive compliments. If someone says you did something well, say thank you and leave it alone. You don't have to add a disclaimer. Well, yeah, oh, this dress is old. If you look good in it, it doesn't matter if it's old or new. Oh, yeah, I got this at a resale shop. Do you look good in it? That's what matters. So learn to accept the compliments. You did a great job on that project. Oh, yeah, it took me forever. I stayed up nights working with it. I didn't think I was going to get it done. But you did. So accept the compliment. It's okay with unequivocally. Just thank you. It's all you got to do. Number 7, practice not comparing yourself to others. Whenever we compare ourselves to someone else, we typically come up short. We're not as good as. Or I look at the way so-and-so is doing something. You don't know what it took to get them to do it, for one. So stop comparing yourself. The only person you need to compare yourself to is yourself. That only one person you with 24/7 every day of the year. You're the only one who knows, your backstory. You don't know anyone else's backstory. So practice not comparing yourself to anybody else because you typically will come up short. Or if it's, oh, I'm so much better than them, you're entering into another territory you probably don't want to be in either. So comparing yourself, you are who God made you. So stop, be you, leave it alone. Number 8. Ooh, practice boundaries. Have your own personal boundaries. Whatever they may be. By that, I mean boundaries on your time, boundaries on your mental well-being. You decide who you're going to spend time with. Boundaries can be very hard, but they're very necessary. You stop and decide, who do I need in my life? Who do I want here right now to take up this space? I'm not going to work overtime 5 days a week. And that's hard in some jobs because that is what is expected. And then you end up burned out and not being able to do a good job. So figure out how to put boundaries. Even as parents, putting boundaries with your children. As parents, we do everything. Our kids control our lives in the sense that we're spending time taking them from point A to point B, making sure they get homework, making sure they get to the game, making sure, but put some boundaries on your time so that you still have, you can still do for you. Boundaries on your time, your mind, your body. Nope. No is a complete sentence. No, I say, is a complete book. Sometimes you have to say no because you need You need that practice. I skipped number 9, which is practice placing the right people in your life. There are some people in your life that are toxic. You might need to tell them bye-bye. And if you're the toxic person, maybe you need to just stop being toxic if everybody's telling you bye-bye. So I'll just in the interest of time, jump through it. And then the last one is practice gratefulness. Learn to be grateful for who you are. That's why you can look in the mirror and say, hey, beautiful. Yeah, this is the body I got. So I love it. It's mine. All of it is mine. Find a reason to be grateful even in your most difficult day. Find one little thing. And sometimes the reason you're grateful is it's the end of the day and I can lay my head down. And tomorrow's another day. I'll try again. As you practice gratefulness, you can change the way you look at yourself and the world. So yes, practice gratefulness. It is very beneficial because you love yourself enough to be grateful. So what is our call to action? The first one is love yourself. Just love yourself, what we've been saying. You are good. You are good. Give and receive love. See, you're so good that you want others to know that they're good as well. That's why I say give and receive. And lastly, vote, vote, vote. We are in an election year. Here in Texas, we're part of Super Tuesday, which will come up in March. And we're going to have a show with a guest where we will be talking about this whole thing about voting and how important it is. It's so, so important that we vote. But how does I always have to tie it into the topic? I can love myself, but if there are laws enacted that take away who I am, then that's not good. So I need to love myself enough to vote. And because I want things to be great for me and others, I need to vote and be an educated voter so that I can vote and I can do things that are going to help myself and help others. Woo! I rushed through the end trying to make sure I ended on time and actually have a minute or two left. So I just want to recap those top 10 for you and say and remind you why it's important. Those points were give your practice grace. And they're all saying practice. Why? We're not going to just jump into it and have all of this. So we have to practice it. Something you do over and over and over, you finally get it right. Practice grace. Give yourself the grace you deserve. Practice self-care, and it doesn't have to include any money. Practice affirming yourself. Tell yourself something good every day. Practice loving your body just the way it is. Practice self-celebration. I did it. And don't say I did it finally, just I did it. Practice acknowledging and accepting compliments. If somebody tells you you're good, just say thank you and leave it alone. Practice not comparing yourself to others because you typically will come up short. And you don't know what their struggle is. What you see out front might not be what's really going on with them. Practice placing the right people in your life. If they're toxic, if they're not good for you, let them go. Or either not let them have the center part of your life. Practice boundaries. And lastly, practice gratefulness. I am your host, Bronwyn, Miss B. Lucas. I am here to help you become a better you. If you need help in your mental health life, reach out. I may not be the person to help you. You might need someone else, but I'm here to help you find them. Have a great week and love yourself. And right after this, get off this call and go tell yourself something good. Love you. Bye now.